One of the things that people are pretty excited about, at least got excited about a little while ago, was the fact that Avatar, The Last Airbender, was coming back and going to get a new movie that would actually be a continuation of the original series. It was going to be The Legend of Aang. So it was going to take all the original characters from the original show, and now Aang, just a few years later, like Aang's a little bit older, all the characters are a little bit older, and all that kind of stuff. Great, right? Well, Paramount Studios, who has recently been banging on the drum of, hey, when we get Warner Brothers, we're going to be putting out like 30 films a year into movie theaters. We're going to be the movie theater studio, everybody. We're the studio that's pro movie theaters. Oh, by the way, that Avatar movie, yeah, we're pulling it out of theaters now. As Variety is reporting that The Legend of Aang, The Last Airbender movie, is now not going to be going to theaters as they originally promised and said it would. Instead, they're going to dump it on Paramount Plus, is where they're going to put it. Variety writes the following. Paramount's fantasy film, Legend of Aang, The Last Airbender, won't play in movie theaters as intended, but will instead debut directly on Paramount Plus streaming service. The cinematic continuation of the popular TV series, previously slated for theatrical release on October 9th, will land on the streamer sometime in the fall. Meanwhile, a new animated television show, Avatar 7 Havens, is set for Paramount Plus as the company charts a new future for the Earthbending franchise that's solely on streaming. 4 seasons of The Legend of Korra that I tried to get into and I just never could. Anyway, the 2010 film Avatar The Last Airbender, as well as the original Nickelodeon show, are already on Paramount Plus. Now, this leaves them a little bit short because it goes on to say this for 2026. Without The Legend of Aang, The Last Airbender, on its schedule, Paramount has a nearly barren theatrical slate in 2026 that seems void of any heavy hitters. Primate is set for January, with Scream 7 to follow in February, Scary Movie 6 in June, Paw Patrol, the Dino movie in August, and Street Fighter in October, and Angry Birds 3 in December. I defy anybody to find a studio that's got a more pathetic release schedule coming up in 2026. I'm not saying I hate the sound of all the movies on that list. I'm not saying that, but it's like, seriously, point me to another studio that's got a worse lineup for 2026. A 2026 that looks like it's got a lot of big bangers lined up. And the one thing they kind of had going for them was this Last Airbender thing that they got everybody excited about, was going to be, you know, this big theatrical event, the return of Aang, all that kind of stuff. And instead, they're now pulling it and dropping it on Paramount Plus. And, you know, I just got to say this now. You know, when the Ellisons took over Paramount, I had a lot of enthusiasm and I had a lot of optimism because, you know, David Ellison came in with a lot of, they were all just words, but still they were the right words about a vision that he has, the types of movies they wanted to pursue, all that kind of stuff. I was very pro about it. And even when they made their pitch to buy Warner Brothers, I was like, well, I don't want Warner Brothers to sell, but I'm not against the idea of Paramount getting it. But I'll tell you what, Rob, more and more and more, as every day that passes, things happen over there and things get said and things get done where I'm like, these fuckers have no idea what the fuck they're doing. This studio is being run by a clown show. I mean, don't even get me started about, you know, how they pulled a 60 Minutes story last night at the last second, which, you know, we won't go into here. That didn't help my perception of this now slowly sinking company. But like, you made these big grandiose promises, right? About like your commitment to theatrical. And this is like, out of all your 2026 things, Scream might be good. It might be bad. Street Fighter might be cute. or it might be the disaster I'm thinking that it looks like. I mean, there's a few things that could work on there, but you had this last Airbender thing, something that everybody who knows it is enthusiastic about, the returning to the original characters, the original series. And then with just like 9 months to go, you go, oh yeah, no. We're pulling that out of theaters now. Now we're going to just put that straight to Disney Plus. And I am more and more day by day transitioning from somebody who had really been cheering for Paramount and really been enthusiastic and optimistic about what a new Paramount under Skydance and under David Ellison could be like, to they are just talking me out of it every day, Rob, every day. This is a stupid decision. This was a movie that really could have gotten some traction. And if your idea is to get more attention on your streaming offerings, then get the other Airbender stuff on streaming and let Aang hit theaters and point the way over to Disney, over to Paramount Plus. Like, I just don't understand it. And now, like, listen, you stood on this platform, we're going to put things in theaters, oh, blah, blah, blah. Why the fuck should we believe anything you say now about what your goals and direction are for this studio when you haven't even been in there long enough for your fucking coffee to get cold and you're already pulling films out of theaters? Fuck you. I mean, it's just, I cannot believe that I was naive enough for any period of time to believe David Ellison and the people over there are anything but a bunch of nitwit, shit for brains clowns. And it's just more and more every day we're seeing more that goes to that. And fuck them. I have no faith in Paramount anymore. They can fucking burn to the ground as far as I'm concerned. Wow, John, you really cared a lot about this Aang movie. It's not just the Aang movie. It's like I went on my show on camera to say, hey, this David Ellison thing with Paramount, this is going to be a winner. This is going to be really good. And every single day, I feel like he doesn't know who I am by any stretch, but I feel like David Ellison wakes up every day who goes, how can we make Campia look like he was really wrong to have any faith in us? And that is their mission now, to make me look dumb, which I do a good enough job of on my own. But their mission is now to make me look dumb for having faith in them in the first place. And Rob, I got to tell you, after the last couple of weeks, my last drop of goodwill for Paramount is gone. It's gone. This is now the last place, bottom of the barrel studio. I have no faith that they're going to be able to turn this thing around anymore. Anyway, so screw them. Paramount sucks and they're going to die. Anyway, Rob, and I don't even care all that much about the Aang project. It's just one thing after another, Rob. Anyway, you saw this. They're pulling the thing out of theaters. They're going to put it onto Paramount Plus. What's your takeaway from this?
Well, a little different than yours. I think looking at the people involved, it has 3 directors and it has 3 writers. And director Steve Ahn has worked on TV shows like Star Trek Prodigy, animated show. He directed an episode of The Boys animated show. But the other 2 directors, you know, they're like Lauren Montgomery's a storyboard artist and William Mata. They're not exactly top flight animation directors. They were TV animation directors at best, Age of Ultron or Voltron or whatever. And I would imagine that the final film, just even though it's Taika Waititi does a voice and Dave, Batista does a voice and Heikyu Kwan does a voice. I just think it probably wasn't up to theatrical standards. And they looked at it and they said, we can't throw the kind of marketing budget a big animation project would get behind this film because it just isn't theatrical quality. I mean, I have to believe that they just made that assessment. And I could see that happening because the directors are all TV directors. And they probably or TV storyboard artists. So they probably just didn't make a film of theatrical caliber. That's my takeaway after looking at who made the movie. And there's no shame in that. They're TV directors. And I don't think you want to give TV animation directors a first shot at a theatrical feature, making something that could be potentially this important to a franchise. So that's what I think probably happened.
I mean, they're saying it's a part of their, strategy for, but I mean, look, my take on it is
Of making better movies.
one of the, yeah, one of the advantages of having animation is you have a clearer picture of what it's going to be. Like you've shot a lot of live action stuff, Rob. And it takes a little while for you to get a real sense, like regardless of the script and regardless of the storyboards and what's in your head, it takes you a little while to really start getting a sense of what this thing is turning out to be as you're shooting it and all that kind of stuff. With animation, you get that, you're able to get a picture of that, not even a little sooner, probably a lot sooner.
Well, you should, theoretically, yeah.
Theoretically you should. So like why, if, and they're not saying that the issue is that the movie isn't up to snuff, but if that's the issue, then why not make changes? It's not like you have to rebook locations. It's not like you have to hire another local crew. It's not like you have to free up the schedules of your talent again. If you really think there's a problem with it, why not correct it to at least to the point where maybe it's not a 10 out of 10 movie, but it's not as egregious as you think. Again, nobody is saying officially that the movie's bad. We're just saying if it was that, do something to correct it.
Well, and you have the writer, Michael Dante DiMartino was one of the original writers on both shows. So you had him, and there's 3 writers, but the other writer obviously worked on Last Airbender and was in the animation department of Legend of Korra. So maybe it was a case that the script was not, it just didn't work out for some reason. Of course, then you had one of the writers was on Star Trek Discovery and Starfleet Academy. I'm not saying that has anything to do with it, because I haven't seen Starfleet Academy, but maybe it just didn't all work out the way it was supposed to.
You're
right. I mean, maybe they just decided, look, we could go back and spend the money and try and fix this, but we're not going to. We're just going to put it on streaming, which is at least it made it to streaming. It could have been not a good, I don't know. I haven't seen it, and I don't want to disparage people's work that I haven't seen. I'll disparage people's work I have seen, but I haven't seen the work, so I can't make an assessment. But
it's one of our viewers is raising an interesting point. They said they probably looked how bad SpongeBob did and didn't want to go through that again. Like, yeah, SpongeBob. I mean, but again,
that could be. That's a wise comment.
But I don't know that you can equate SpongeBob to Avatar: The Last Airbender, or think it's the same demographic that's beside. Because again, he's right. SpongeBob flopped. And flopped pretty hard when you look at the production budget and the marketing budget and what it's going to need to make to be profitable, and had a $16 million opening weekend. That's not great. It'll be interesting to see how big the international numbers are. But I mean, I don't know that you can draw a comparison. Like, I don't think you can say that the audience for SpongeBob is the audience for Avatar: The Last Airbender. But still, I mean, that could be something there. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? That Aang, the Last Airbender movie that we were getting, that a lot of people were quite excited about, the original writer of the original series and all that kind of stuff, that was going to come theatrically. It's being pulled and dumped onto Paramount Plus. Surprised? Not surprised? Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.